We're here literally on top of a mountain to tell you about this new Toyota event.
Like many of you, we too were very disappointed when we first heard that the FJ Summit was canceled for good.
However, rising from the ashes comes a Rocky Mountain Toyota Roundup.
We are very fortunate to be sitting here with one of the founders and organizers of the upcoming Rocky Mountain Toyota Roundup, James. How are you, James?
Hi, Mark. Doing great, man.
Now, tell us a little bit about your past. You're no stranger to events, and and James has also been for a long time. How many years were you a trail leader for the FJ Summit?
Yeah, I was a trail leader at Summit for about 8 years. Also, our local club, Colorado FJ Cruisers, we provided more than half of the trail leaders for Summit, especially as Summit went on. Mm-hmm. It's all local people. They're all experienced on the mountains, and all folks that I worked with and trained and stuff like that.
So you're legit.
Okay.
He's legit.
Trust me. His word for
Trust me. I've known him for years now, and he is legit. And you've been doing events with the Colorado FJ Cruiser.
Yeah, that's right. We had an event every year, the Rocky Mountain FJ Roundup, not Toyota Roundup, our new event. The FJ Roundup was in Buena Vista for the last 7 years. I largely modeled that on what I observed the Summit leadership doing. So we had, I did all the trail design and worked with all the trail leaders and stuff like that. And now that the Summit is officially over, we've decided to move our event from Buena Vista, the FJ Roundup, to now Ouray, the Toyota Roundup.
So it's pretty much already an established event. You're just moving venues and changing things up probably a little bit, maybe.
Growing the event a little bit. Yeah. Here in Colorado, it was over Labor Day, and it was mostly locals. For the Toyota Roundup, now that the Ouray venue is opened up, the idea is to more than double in size, and to try to take the same week normally as FJ Summit, and then bring in a lot of folks from around the country.
So you're pretty much just picking up the FJ Summit where the FJ Summit left off. Yeah, you're kind of filling that niche.
Yeah, to an extent. The venue, the Ouray venue is amazing. The trails here are amazing, and I have to give a lot of credit to the FJ Summit, the organizers. I worked with those guys for years on, the trail leading stuff. Volunteered for years, and it was a really great event. And we were all sad to see it go. But at the same time, we definitely want to keep using Ouray as an off-roading destination. So that was our goal. Yeah,
because it's perfect. If you've never been to the FJ Summit or you've never been to the Ouray area at all, this is where you got the Alpine Loop, you got Imogene, you got Black Bear. This is where it's at right here, and it's all within 45. Probably the furthest trail is maybe 45 minutes away, hour away.
Yeah. It's most
down
of them.
To Silverton?
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you run down to Silverton's about 45 minutes away, and then you can run the trails around Silverton. A lot of the trails you'll start just south of Ouray actually end up in Silverton too.
Yeah.
But no, on our website, I think we did the math. One of our organizers is a local GIS specialist, and we did the math on it. I think we calculated it was at over 190 miles
of trails.
Just on the trails that we're considering for the event.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And there's a lot of different offshoots that maybe you've never heard of, the gulch trails and stuff like that, and mine ruins everywhere. So now tell us a little bit what you have planned. Now we're a year out. This is year zero.
Correct. We're calling it year zero. So the announcement we were expecting to be at FJ Summit now. Right?
Absolutely, I was too.
Yeah. So when the Summit organizers announced in February that the Summit was over, it was too late to do anything official. All the Forest Service permitting, all the working with the city.
There's so much behind the scenes that you all don't understand. There's a lot of footwork that has to be done.
So it was too late for all of that. So I've been coming to Ouray, even though Summit has been off for COVID, we were still coming up every year.
That's how I know you. We've been coming here too every year since for years.
Yeah. So this year being year zero, we wanted to work with the city to find a venue. We think we found a venue. I'm not announcing anything yet. We think we found a venue. We're trying to get an idea of costs. We want to change a little bit how the vendors interact. We didn't want the trade show, the booths, You know, have 300 people walk past your booth and maybe 10 of them stop, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We really want the vendors to have a great interactive experience with a group. So the hope is that the vendors go on the trail runs with the trail leaders, with the members.
Yes.
Which Summit in the early days, Discount Tire used to sponsor some of the event runs, and we'd have at a Discount Tire, one of the reps for Discount Tire in the afternoon group or in the later groups
would go out on a trail run. That'd be cool.
So that's our goal, is to integrate the vendors more tightly with the trail runs rather than just have it be like a big trade show or something.
I think that's a very good idea. More of a family kind of, everybody mingles together kind of event.
It's an intensive involvement of, you know, bring your truck, show us on the trails what your truck can do. The trail leaders will give you some time to talk to the people that are on the, you know, hand out drinks, hand out snacks, things like that. Just make a deeper connection over the course of a day than to, you know, see somebody walking past your booth and not even have them stop. So yeah.
Now, you have a website.
Yep.
And what is that?
It's Rocky Mountain Toyota Roundup.com.
That's easy enough to remember, folks. It's right there. And we're going to put it in the video description, a direct link to it. So go there. You won't even have to Google it or enter anything. You just click it. Easy enough. And through that website, the people that are watching, if they have any ideas, suggestions, or anything for the organizers.
So the website in its current state, we're collecting email addresses for people who are interested in the event, and then we're going to have a little bit of an interactive process about, you know, here's when we have an idea of the date range from the city, what dates are available. Here's what our date ranges are. You know, if there's multiple dates, do we, you know, maybe put the word out and say, hey, which of these dates would you prefer?
Yeah.
You know, collect votes, things like that.
Sure.
We are also looking to interact with the vendors to see if there's anything that we wanted to do, that the vendors wanted us to do for them, that maybe they weren't, you know, don't get at other events or things like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So,
that's a very good idea.
Yeah. With it being a generic Toyota event rather than, and you saw Summit. Summit was mostly FJs, but not entirely FJs.
Yeah. It got to the point where it was kind of half FJs and the other half were
everything
runners and Tacomas.
GXs and all that stuff. Yeah. What we're hoping for the vendors, we're hoping that there's enough value for them to come. You know, with FJs, it was largely FJs, and then, you know, if you had a product set that catered toward FJs, you know, you could come and hopefully sell a lot of stuff to FJ owners. With it being a larger Toyota event, we understand there's a little more diversity in the product set for that. But yeah, we're hoping to talk to the vendors about that and say, you know, hey, how can we make this an event that's number one, cheaper for them to come to, but also number two, kind of how do they get more value out of it? Like maybe you come with your
return on their investment, because you know, they have to send people, they have to pay for motel rooms just like the rest of us. So yeah. So if you're a vendor, if you're at all interested in being a vendor at the Roundup,
there's an email sign up on there as well. Yeah, there's an attendee sign up at the top and an email sign and a vendor sign up at the bottom.
Absolutely, so, that's a good idea. All right, so it's really important, folks, to keep an eye on the social media, on the website, the Roundup website, and you have a Facebook that they can follow?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, just Rocky Mountain Toyota Roundup, same as the website.
Yeah, so get in on a discussion there. If you have any ideas, try to convince your friends to follow along too. And one thing I need to mention, this is going to be a limited number that can sign up for this,
and smaller than the Summit. So we've got restrictions from the venue and the Forest Service on exactly how many people. We're trying to come up with a really fair way of like figuring out how many, you know, first time. We want to make sure we get enough first timers. We want to make sure that, you know, the people that really like coming to Ouray, you know, can come back and see all their friends. But it's definitely a challenge. There's more demand than there is supply.
Unfortunately. It's really important to keep an eye on things, and when that registration opens, click refresh. Pretty much like the old FJ Summit was, because there are limited spots. And I think that's probably a good thing, because when you get too many people in one little area and too many people on the trails, it gets to be really chaotic. So I want to thank James for being with us here.
Thanks, Mark.
And for starting this back up again, the FJ Summit, carrying on the tradition of that. And we hope to see you next year in 2023.
See you here.
As updates are released, we'll pass them on to you through our social media.
Facebook and Instagram, and thanks for watching. And just bear with me.
That's all right.
Founders and organizers. Okay.
There you go.
We too were very disappointed when we first heard that the FJ Summit was